To this now, over 150 deaths have been reported on Eastern Cape roads throughout the festive season. 3 more people died this past weekend as holidaymakers made the trip back home. Law enforcement officials have increased their visibility, and that's in a bid to stop road accidents and fatalities. eNCA's Ronald Masinda is covering the story and joins us now for the very latest. A very good morning to you, Ronald Masinda. We've spoken about the over 100 deaths that have been recorded in the province over the festive season. Give us a sense of that kind of carnage that the roads saw, and some of the biggest concerns law officials say was the cause of these fatalities.
Well, Rufio, one of the biggest concerns are pedestrians being knocked at freeways, and this has happened on many occasions. In fact, the Department for Transport saying that at least half of the road carnages are due to people trying to cross roads and being knocked by vehicles. But what we do understand is that last year's festive season, around 210 people died in the province. This was actually a decrease in comparison to the previous year of 228. This was during the festive season, of course, and that decrease was around 7.9%. But traffic officials saying that they are leaving nothing to chance during this festive season. We've seen numerous operations taking place in areas such as East London as well as Mthatha. But where we are at the moment, we're near the M4 freeway in Gqeberha, where traffic officials say that they have been hard at work throughout the course of the festive season. I am joined by the Acting Director for Traffic here in Nelson Mandela Bay, Mr. Eric Tiso. Thank you so much for your time, sir. I see that you have quite a number of stats to talk to us about. How are they looking?
I must say we still have a concern, more especially to the public transport. Overload is still very high, which is concerning us the most. Drunken driving is also high, which is concerning us the most. Driving without a driving license is also too high. But when we look into the roadworthiness of vehicles in our area, I must say since October, when we look into the stats, that have come down. And the most thing that we're so happy about is accidents in our areas. More especially as we have been talking about pedestrians on a public road. I must say we only have 4 fatalities. But even that doesn't give us a joy. We would love to have 0 into that. Even the number of accidents where vehicles are involved without pedestrians, that only 2 crashes and whatsoever, we only have 17. We would love to drop that into 0. Now the question might come up as to say, what have we done in order to reduce these numbers, and what can we do in order to improve what we are busy with? More especially on the M4 freeway, as well as N2 freeway, R75 in our major routes. We have asked officers to patrol up and down, and then where we see pedestrians, we just have that short time to educate them, because eyes cannot be able to measure the speed of the vehicle, more especially on the freeway. And then that's when people are getting killed. As well as in the area of M17 Addo Road, that was also another area where many people had so many accidents before. We had a strict focus in that area, and then we have VCPs, that is vehicle checkpoints. We had, as from October to date, we have more than 70 checkpoints, because each and every day we make it a habit now that we must have at least 3 to 4 checkpoints, so that people can be able to say that there's something that we are doing about it.
If you look at road deaths this festive season in comparison to last festive season, how are they comparing?
In our area, I will strictly talk about Nelson Mandela Metro. At least the numbers have come down. And we are saying thanks to pedestrians that they were not drinking and driving and drinking and jaywalking on the public road, because that is the most critical part, where people will go to the beaches, because we do have beaches that are close to the N2. For an example, that is Wells Estate, where people have to cross. At least there we managed to reduce. There was only 1 incident that we had, but the person did not die. But most of them And I must say thanks to our counterpart, that is South African Police Service. We were working together even in our plans, and to achieve this, credit must go also to them, not only to Nelson Mandela Metro Traffic. And our counterpart, that is also Metro Police, that we're working in conjunction with them, because in our plan we said, last year, where did we get this accident and incident? So how do we counter them? And then we plan accordingly, and that worked for us. And even now, we are still continuing. As you know, that the schools are going to open next week. So all what we have gathered from October, November, December informs us what we need to do now in January when the schools are opening. So we'll be hard on the public transport, because that is our concern. You must know, one accident where there is a public transport, it costs too many. And now it will involve mostly the pedestrians as well as the passengers.
Was it a busy time of the year, though, for the metro?
It was a very busy time. If you look into our coastal side, it was very busy, as well as our N2, R75, M14, M19, it was very busy. Visitors coming in. As we speak now, most of them are going out, but others are passing towards the area of Cape Town, George and whatsoever, and others are moving out towards the area of King Williamstown and others, and Joburg and whatsoever. So we are still there to maintain law and order, so that people, they must see us that we're there for them, so that we keep them safe. Once we have this VCP, we don't take VCPs just for the sake of having VCP. We are guided by what we have found and how do we clamp down on that. So we are having a very good results as compared to last year based on that.
Mr. Tiso, just looking around on the M4, there's a lot of trucks, and we do know that there are quite a number of industrial areas where these trucks operate. Yeah. How much have these trucks violated the laws?
Manganese truck is one of our huge challenge. We have dealt with them decisively, I must say, and the truck owners, they can say that themselves. We dealt with them so heavily with overload, checking the roadworthiness of their truck, as well as the outstanding fines. To such an extent that they were saying, no, it seems as if we are victimizing them. We said each and every person which has been stopped by a blue uniform will see himself as a victim. He doesn't see himself that we are helping them. Because sometimes when you stop a vehicle, you don't stop a vehicle just to look for faults. But sometimes you are stopping them just to advise them that drink more water, so that you can be able to stop so frequently, you can be so fresh to avoid more accidents. So coming back into these trucks, they are not the drivers. For an example, one driver is employed by you. You give him a rest that he must take 3 weeks. He or he will leave to another owner. In that 3 weeks, you think that he's resting. No, he's working for another owner. So we deal with that one. And then from there, that owner but says, he is my driver, he's on leave, but the other one employed him because they want this manganese to go on. So we are dealing with them in such an extent that the owners now, they learned from that to say, these people, we give them leave, but they work for other people because they chase for money.
This is very concerning, to say the least. But in terms of arrests, how many perhaps arrests have you made during the festive season?
Yeah, you know, I'm not happy. Because if you start, let's start in October. October, I had 105 drunk and driving. November, I had 126 drunk and driving. Now in December, I'm standing at 146 drunk and driving. And in that, there is also public transport, which are the drivers of the taxis and what's that concerns me the most. Because the less I get in terms of arresting, the better I feel. But the more I'm arresting people, the worse I become. Because then it means there is a challenge out there that I need to do more. So people, they must understand, we're not happy once we charge you. We're only happy once we do not charge you, that your vehicle is roadworthy, you are not drunk, you are having your driving license with you, and after that, we know for a fact that you are up to scratch. We're happy. You must not contribute to accidents, because if you look into the obstructions which we have, public transport, we had more than 3,000. Now you ask yourself a question, how can we have so many because they stop on the freeway, they stop everywhere, they offload people. And then they said, no, we cannot pass this person. That is a challenge that we are faced with. And we are urging the owners, because there was a challenge in this metro where we stop it 100%, where we had taxi owners that were stopping trucks on the public road to say they are having their people that must go to the taxis, but now they're getting listed. We said, no. You cannot take the law into yourselves. We are law enforcement into ourselves.
Mr. Tiso, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. That was the Acting Director for Traffic here in Nelson Mandela Bay, Mr. Eric Tiso, describing for us some of the challenges faced by traffic or law enforcement here in the metro. It's back to you in studio.